For the thousands in attendance and the millions watching around the world, we are live and amplified. So let's get ready to podcast.
Fire it up.
Welcome, everybody, to another live and amplified livecast. I'm your host, Tom Quiet, and we are back at it again with another amazing podcast. Today, we have a very special guests. We have Dave and Haiti from Double Star. How's it going today?
Hey.
It's going great.
Good, good. I'm glad to have you on. You know, it's I believe we have a mutual friend, Jimbo from Key of Caustic. That yeah, and he had messaged me a couple of weeks ago and said, asked about you. He asked about you at one point, so it was really interesting and cool. So
I saw them at a Porch Fest.
Okay.
I went up to them later and said, "Hey, we should play together sometime." That was really great.
Nice.
We have yet to play together, but hopefully we will.
Awesome. But first off, I do want to thank you all so much for jumping on and chatting with me a little bit. I'm really excited to get to know more about Double Star and what you guys what kind of brought you all together and, you know, where you guys are headed. So before we kind of get into the new EP that you guys dropped back in August, what's kind of your introduction comic book origin story for all the people that are just getting to know you for the first time?
Gosh, well, there's our origin story, and then there's our comic book origin story.
I mean, however you want to interpret the question, I'm game.
Go for it.
Yeah, so I played, when I moved to Boston, like, I was always really into, like, X and The Clash and, like, you know, a lot of early punk rock stuff, but I ended up playing in an indie rock band for like 5 years and kind of playing, you know, this very kind of like mathematical kind of sounding stuff. And like, and then eventually that ended and I was like, oh, I just want to do something like more, I want to do something that's more mine, you know, like in terms of like the music that I want to write. So I placed a Craigslist ad and I was kind of like, specific about what I was looking for. I was like, yeah, I write music. I don't sing. I don't want to sing. I'm kind of looking for somebody who sings and wants to, you know, maybe play, you know, lead instrument or something. Like, I was basically like, I don't want to be in another band where I'm backing up another guitarist and kind of playing like a atmospheric crap.
Yeah.
You know?
He wanted to write the riffs and then have somebody else
sing
put the melody
put the
and
melody
lyrics to it.
Yeah.
So that's kind of like how we.
And that's my bag. So.
Yeah, we met up.
Awesome. So neither one of you are born and raised in Boston or from Boston?
I'm from Boston, from the age of like 4.5 on.
Okay.
So I'm Bostonian.
Gotcha.
Via Texas, via Cape Town, South Africa.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
I'm from New Jersey originally. I lived here for about 15 years.
Okay. So you, gotcha. You see, you kind of threw me off when you said that we brought up Portland during our little pre-conversation.
Oh,
so
yeah.
his sister lives in Portland, and I lived there for 10 years.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Cool.
Settled, and then decided family was important and moved back.
For sure. That's kind of the journey I'm on myself right now. Except my family's in 2 completely different parts of the country, so it's just like, yeah. But cool. So how long has Double Star been together, playing together?
Well, the fateful day we met up at a coffee shop and, you know, talked about music was 2016.
Yeah, it was like March 2016. So that's.
And then we probably formed the band 6 months later.
Yeah, I mean, I rather like we played our first show as a full band. Like I should also say, if you don't know, we're a 5-piece band. We played our first show in July 2017. So, you know, a little over a year to like write some songs.
We need at least 10 songs for a show. So we had to write a bunch of songs and get people up and running. Finding a drummer was the hardest thing. We had a drummer, but then she got a job in California and moved.
We had 2 drummers. Yeah.
Well, we barely had him.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough.
We had a nice guy who was with us for like a month or 6 weeks, and
Yeah.
then something happened. We were not quite sure what. Doesn't matter.
Yeah. Gotcha.
Didn't like it.
I just feel like the drummer role in a lot of bands is always that like ever evolving spot where
Can be.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
We've found a drummer who I think he's ours as long as we want him. You know, like he's really into it. Super depend. I mean, I'm talking about a drummer here. Super dependable.
Yeah.
Has really good equipment. Has a car. I mean, yeah. No, we lucked out.
He's only in one band.
Oh my God, he's only in our band.
I know, it's unheard of.
And he's really good.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Not gonna
Usually-
say
No, I
his
mean,
name,
like
it's
I'm knocking
ours.
on
Yeah.
keyboards, and so we're sitting on the keyboard here.
Yeah. It sounds like you got yourself a unicorn that you just need to hold on to.
Yeah.
Because usually drummers, if they're that good and that sought after, they're in like 7 or 8 different bands, and it's just kind of like
Well, I don't think he was sought after, and I think he definitely got his chops have been developed with us. You know,
Mhm.
we're forcing him to play and practice and
Yeah.
do
sure.
stuff, but he's been. I think it's what he's been looking for. So we lucked out. And speaking of lucking out, you know, so we're 5-piece. So Dave and I write the songs, but we've got a friend of his, actually Bill, on bass,
Yep.
who's really good. Also plays multi-instruments. Maybe one day he's going to play ukulele on something, apparently. But he's really great. He comes up with really nice bass lines. He sits back and just does the bass, or he comes forward and plays like a lead part. Like it's like he's got a really good sense of the song. And I actually think we all do. And then we have Leah, who we advertised for a second vocalist. Did we advertise for a keyboard player?
Yeah, because I wanted a synth player.
Yeah, he had a
Yeah.
really good idea of what he wanted, kind of the cars synth sound.
Mm-hmm.
And so he advertised for that. And it turns out she's a, classically trained pianist.
yeah.
Just an amazing all-around musician, also a multi-instrumentalist.
Mhm.
One day we were talking about how I started talking about how a lead guitar part I had written, I heard in my head on a trumpet. And I have a trumpet I used to play when I was a kid, and I've been lugging it around and bust it out every once in a while. So I tried that, and she says, "Oh, I can bring my saxophone next time I go to my parents' house," And so now we have a horn section. So
Nice.
That's how that evolved, and that was really fun. So we've actually just kind of luckily and magically put together a group of very talented multi-instrumentalist singer-songwriters who not only can play their instruments, but also have a good sense of everything else that you need to make a song build and rise and fall.
Yeah,
you
good
know.
taste,
Yeah. And they
That's-
claim to like our music, so
Yeah.
they keep coming to practice.
Yeah, and I think once we had Leah just open, I mean, Hades started on her own. Was Leah in the band when you started playing trumpet?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, she came, we had Christy as the drummer.
Right. Yeah.
She
So yeah,
really
you started, but Hades started playing trumpet in the band. So I think like our early stuff, but we were messing around. We do different kind of styles already at that point. But we were kind of aiming for like a Rentals kind of Breeders kind of sound. Heavy guitars and synth and pop melodies
like
and
we're
stuff.
firmly Gen Xers and
Yeah.
just that's what we love.
But then it was like, oh no, we got a horn player all of a sudden. Then we got 2 horn players, and then Leah had so many things at her fingertips as a keyboard player, and there was like sweet kind of like harmonies, and it was just so much more to work with as composers and stuff. We're just and I think it took things in a more more new wavy kind of direction a little bit, because there was just so many more options to kind of.
For sure. It makes things more interesting when you have musicians that are multi-instrumentalists, and it's not just like your standard 4 or 5 instruments where you got somebody that could play drums, lead, rhythm, bass.
Yeah.
They're bringing in different instruments with different sounds, whether it be keyboard, violin, whatever it is, name the instrument. And it just gives your sound a completely broader or a completely different sound.
Mm-hmm.
And
So.
we also have confidence. Like Dave will often put a bass line in when we're writing the songs. He'll send me some stuff on GarageBand, and he'll put a bass line in. And I think it's safe to say Bill always deviates,
Almost, yeah.
but he uses it as a jumping off point, which I think he probably appreciates. And then, if either of us write a part for someone else that we really want them to do, we will say so. But otherwise, this is about fun. This is about expression. So we certainly are fine with everybody doing, something else. But I've noticed that Leah, like, we'll both write keyboard parts for Leah, and she's fine with that. Before we had Leah, maybe this is what you're thinking of. I had written a couple of keyboard parts for songs, and like I think I was even trying to, thinking about having me play both instruments, but because it was before the trumpet came about. So there was that idea. So I hear lots of instruments in my head. He wanted a keyboard, a synthesizer player, but I also very much wanted a second vocalist because in my prior band in Portland, Oregon, which I was in for 6 years, I never had that second vocalist. We strove for it. We tried different people. We had it for a few weeks or a few months. But there were 3 of us who were always the main pieces of the band. And then the fourth never clicked. We kind of had this revolving door of fourths, none of whom either sang or performed. Like one guy sang, but he couldn't do it on stage. That's helpful. So I was always missing. I'll write 3 and 4 part harmonies, but I never had anyone to sing with me. So it was really important to have somebody who could sing. And one day I'll get this guy doing a part.
Yeah.
And now you're finally in a situation where you have the singers to do 4-part harmonies if you so choose.
But yeah, I have someone who's a very versatile, good singer, and we can do all sorts of stuff in the studio. On our latest EP, we have a song called "See It Through," where there were just 2 parts, and she comes in with like an ah kind of thing in the background. But then she suggested, like while we were in the studio, that I could just double it up by singing with her, and that's definitely a trick that you do. Sometimes the engineer will do it with your own voice, and he'll just he'll take 2 takes, she'll take 2 takes and put them together to kind of fill it out. So Leah suggested that I just sing the same notes as her, but then as we were doing it, I went up because I just felt it, and like it ended up being like one of the best parts of that song was like that spontaneous, not even necessarily a harmony, although it must have been at some point. Anyway, it's just really fun, and like we both have, that was her idea, and we have that kind of sensibility.
Yeah, it's cool. I mean, it's not a lot of bands that do like kind of formal harmonies with like kind of punk music. So it's interesting. One of our sort of like short descriptions is like it's the Clash meets Indigo Girls.
Yeah. Nice.
Not bad.
Oh, since you brought up the new album, let's go ahead and talk about that for a little bit. It dropped back in mid-August, if I'm not mistaken.
I have August 17th in my head.
Yeah.
But don't quote me on that. Not that it matters. On Spotify, you can go listen to it right now.
It's called Say Something Now.
Say something now.
My handwriting is terrible. I had to write it in my phone, and I still couldn't see it. So, Say Something Now. What was the original idea for the album? How long had you been working on it before you decided to release it?
Well, we have a very democratic but boring approach to like recording, which is sort of like everybody pick a song they want to record, and then we take one of the songs and we name the album that.
Although we only do that because some of the names of the songs are so awesome.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And are perfect for album names.
I think, So
I'm sorry. Our first EP was Wonder and Mayhem, also the name of a song, and this is Say Something Now because why not?
Yeah, for sure. So each person for Say Something Now, each person picked out one song to record.
And for Wonder and Mayhem, how did that work? Maybe that didn't work that way because there were only 4 songs on it.
I think we might have proposed that, and it was a little bit different, I guess.
Yeah. Okay, so who picked, or Heidi, what song did you pick off the album? Let's play this game. Say Something Now. What did you choose? What was it about that song that kind of spoke to you to record?
It wasn't that I wanted the album to be called that. That just came up from the choices. Actually, most of them would have been pretty good for a name for the EP. But it was one of my favorites. That was a riff that I recall hearing it when Dave sent it and just loving the guitar part. Like, it's just so fun. You should play it. Surprise. Seriously, it's so good.
So you said it's the guitar riff that you really like about this song?
So he just sent me this. I think this might have been something I listened to when he was looking for the person who would come to write songs with him.
It was something I was like,
and it was like, yeah. But anyway, so it's just one of my favorites, and I play a lot of melodic lead. I'm not a shredder. I don't have the technical expertise or patience to get it. And I'm a melody person. I hear melodies and I make them happen on instruments. I can play many things, and that's just what I play by ear.
For sure.
So I really like my melodic, like that. It was one of my favorite things. It has a little bit of an echo on it, you know, and like it just was it just feels good. Music for me has a lot of feeling to it. It's about how it makes me feel as the performer, and I hope that people, when they're listening to it, get some of what I'm feeling when I'm singing or playing. But anyway, check us out.
I didn't know this would happen, but all right. It was like, So it kind of goes from there.
Nice.
That slide,
Mm-hmm.
me at the slide, I was like, yes.
Nice.
Yeah.
Now, where did you come up with the guitar riff for the song? Or
I think I was trying to do like my version of what's that song by Big Star, In the Streets?
I'm not familiar with Big Star, so.
Oh,
Not
yeah.
everyone is as big a fan of Big Star as Dave.
Yeah, well, I'm not big. I can't remember the name. I think it's called In the Streets.
Okay.
But yeah, Big Star, like, do you know them at all? Or
No.
they were like in the 70s, and they were kind of working in the same sort of milieu as like Bowie and like Cheap Trick and stuff.
Gotcha.
They're like classic power pop, you know?
Yeah. Gotcha.
Gently, but like some really funky stuff, but not like funky like jazzy, but like funky, just like funky rhythms, you know?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so it kind of like, yeah, I was trying to write like kind of a Big Star song, and then Haiti kind of wrote this really delay drenched kind of lead part, and I kind of took it in a whole direction, and yeah.
I'm really surprised Zoom didn't try and EQ out that guitar.
Oh,
Because it's got like an auto compression thing that it does, that if it sounds like white noise, or if it sits in that same frequency range of white noise, and sometimes the guitar will do that, or it'll sit like right in that same frequency range.
maybe because it's not plugged in. I don't know.
I was just sitting here. I was like, what's that?
Maybe Zoom has gotten smarter.
Yes, hopefully. We'll go with that. That sounds like a more.
I was on a public hearing today. I work for government, and we held a hearing, and somebody gave their testimony musically. It was just fantastic, even though the song was, and she was obviously playing piano in the background, and she was singing too. So I actually was like, I was surprised that those both were coming through, because I think that if you're just playing, it's cool, and if you're singing, it's cool, but the two together, it gets confused.
Yeah.
There you
I
go.
was trying to take like Latin percussion lessons over Zoom during the pandemic, and it was just like, everything would just get swallowed, and it didn't work real well. But there's ways you can adjust Zoom to like,
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm glad I apologize in advance for suggesting something that may have
Not working.
thrown us off.
And I would have stopped. Had it not been working, I would have been like, hey, we can't, like, Zoom is just EQing it out. I would have stopped it. But no, that was really cool. And then, so Heidi, you picked Say Something Now. How long ago had you written that song, or had that song been written?
I don't remember, but it was a more recent one.
Okay.
Some of the songs that we picked for the EP were from the beginning. Some people picked because it was their favorites. No one else had picked it, and so they're like, oh, but we have to do this one. I think that was a couple people's choices. Although we think we did it blindly. We all just came with our pick, and we're like, and two people picked, maybe that's why we ended up with 5 songs. 2 people picked the same song. I think Matt and Bill both picked See It Through.
That would be 4 songs, wouldn't it?
That would have been 4. So how did we come up with that 5th?
Oh no, I think you and I kind of for the first EP.
No.
The second EP.
Oh, I'm sorry, I'm confusing the 2.
Yeah.
Never mind.
Okay.
It's all good. It's all good.
But no, because See It Through is on the second one. See It Through, Say Something Now, Holding Hands are all on the second one. Yeah, I'm talking about the second one. So yeah,
Okay.
I remember that both Bill and Matt picked See It Through, which definitely made it on, but we still did 5. So
Maybe a community song that you all enjoyed?
Say Something Now, Holding Hands, See It Through, Lost on the Highway. What was the 5th one?
Wasting time.
Wasting Time. Maybe it was. I think we just slipped another one in then that everyone agreed on. I think that's how that
Yeah.
happened.
Gotcha. And then Dave, what song did you pick to record on the album?
Yeah, I picked Wasting Time.
Oh, you picked Wasting.
I
thought
picked
you
Wasting
Holding
Time.
Hands.
Yeah, because yeah, that I mean, I think that seems like a long time ago now. I've written a lot of songs, and since then, but that was one of my favorites at the time.
It's a
And
good
I felt
song.
like, I honestly felt like it was like most in line with like what I was trying to do musically, like because it's kind of like sparse and rhythmic, and
You want to try it?
yeah, I mean, I think like, so a lot of that, like I said, a lot of stuff that we did on the second album ended up being like, some people picked stuff that we wrote like really in the first couple months that we knew each other, and a lot of stuff was based on songs that Haiti had written 20 years ago or whatever.
Wait, on the first EP?
No, second EP.
Oh, second EP.
So like Lost on the
Yeah.
Highway, See It
Yeah,
Through.
the 2 songs that we just brought to the band, and they're totally different than when I first wrote them, but it's kind of, and we just brought them in because they were good songs, I thought, and everyone
Yeah.
was like, yeah, sure, we'll learn that or whatever. But it's kind of, I was surprised that 2 out of our 5 songs were old Haiti songs.
Yeah, and that was kind of like,
Those were other people's choices. They were not my choice.
yeah, and I mean those were fine, but that was more like, oh, okay, like most the formula, as far as like if we have a formula to how we write songs, like I basically write the rhythm guitar parts, and Haiti writes the melodic parts, either trumpet or lead guitar, and that's kind of like what I prefer, because that's kind of what I like enjoy, like coming up with the rhythms and the parts like that. So Wasting Time was kind of like the closest to that for me, and it had horns. It was just more of like it was more of
It was one of our first horn songs. It's
Yeah.
nice. It's a nice horn part.
yeah, it's like a
Like harmonizing saxophone and trumpet.
Yeah, I got you.
yeah, and it was like, it's just like a 3-chord kind of like.
He does a lot of scratch.
And that was kind of like, that's much more like, so we have a lot of songs that are kind of like,
If you wait.
yeah, in that sort of vein where like there's guitar, but I'm giving lots of room to the vocals, to the bass, the drums, where like, it's, for me, it's the, it's like the fun of sort of like playing as little as possible and being like very like minimal.
We have a joke in the band because sometimes he'll have a part and then he'll like cut some of it out and be like, I'm just gonna not play on this part. And it happened a couple times in a row. And we're like, I think it was Leah who was like, you're just trying to like ease your way out of this band or something. And we're always joking. We're like, Dave's just not gonna play on this song. He's gonna start us off and then stop.
I mean, yeah, like it is partly like partly like I
sure.
like rhythmic stuff, like from rhythmic music, and partly I'm just lazy and I don't want to play guitar all the time. Like, we have songs where I play like constant, and it's like, yeah, it's fine, but it's a little tedious,
I do have a lot of fun in this band because I get to sing, I get to play a tambourine sometimes, I get to play guitar, I get to play trumpet. Every lead part's different. Although I did realize today that there's 2 songs and we shouldn't play in a row because I'm like, my lead part is actually almost identical, but completely different rhythmically and number of notes I'm
Do
hitting.
you know Trio? Okay, so everyone knows this song from there was a Volkswagen ad in the 90s that was like da da da. Does that sound familiar at all?
Kind of, yeah.
Kind of, yeah. Well, they were like a German new wave band, Trio, but they're.
I'm trying to think if I can do that better than he just did.
I don't love you, you don't love me. Da, da. I don't know. I think they might cut that part for the commercial.
Maybe.
But
what's the keyboard part he does? He plays a little like Casio keyboard
I
thing.
don't know. But that guitar, so that band was like super minimal. Like there was like the singer who like occasionally played some keyboard, you know, just a guitarist playing a Strat and like a guy just playing a snare, and then there was drum machine or whatever.
Yeah.
They're like minimalism was kind of like their aesthetic, and it was kind of like funny and everything. But like, I mean, but also it was like he's a great guitarist. He's dead now, but like he was a great guitarist because like it was just everything was like super minimal. You know, he would just make a song with like 2 chords and lots of space. You know, and yeah, he's one of my favorites. So yeah, and you know, even like whatever, just you know, any every rhythm guitarist at some point like starts thinking about like I should play less. You know, I mean, you know. James Brown, like all the guys who played James Brown and all that stuff, like.
So is your goal to get it to a point where you're just essentially sitting on stage throughout the entire?
He had to do that once because he gave himself heat exhaustion when it was a really hot day and drinking up water.
This is true.
That'll happen. That'll happen.
CD release or EP release
It was our
show,
EP
right?
release show. He powered through, but he almost passed out afterwards.
Yep.
The only show he's ever sat down for.
Yeah. No, I you know, I like, you know, I just want to punctuate where it's where it sounds good to me. You know what I mean? Like I don't want to play a lot, and especially like you have a keyboard player, you got 2 horn players, you have a very busy melodic bass player. I won't say busy, but melodic bass player. Matt's he's not here. I'm pointing to him, but there's the drums back there. He's not a he's not a simple drummer. You know what I mean? Like he never plays like a straight, you know, boom chick, boom boom chick. I mean, he's always kind of got like a lot of things going. You know, so it's kind of like it's like the whole like disco funk, you know, kind of aesthetic where like the guitar player just has to fit themselves in like the right spots and like, you know, hold the song together and make it good, you know, but not make it, you know, just not play all the time.
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah,
I got you. It makes sense. So the EP's out, and then you released a single after the EP as well, right?
I don't think so. Did we?
No, we released.
We released singles before the full EP.
Yeah.
Okay. Because when I was looking at Spotify, your most recent release was a double single.
No. Yeah, I got to get that worked out. I got to fill it for Spotify. We're getting mixed up with some Japanese artist who also going by Double Star.
Okay, now that makes sense because so I was sitting here just kind of prepping for everything, and that song came on, and I'm like,
yeah.
Are they speaking Japanese? Because I'm kind of confused.
Yeah.
I've seen that. I've heard that song, but I did not realize that it would make people mix us up.
No, it's like when you're not listening, when you're not really paying attention to what's going on, you just got to kind of playing in the background. I don't know. It's
yeah. You got to form and everything on Spotify to like get your stuff straightened out. I guess it happens a lot, you know, because how many bands are called, you know,
the Meat Puppets.
Well, only one.
That's why I said that.
My
we play bands called Death Cab for
the
Cutie.
Tone Kings, you know, how many bands are called something in the Tone Kings?
Yeah,
there's probably one. You know what I mean?
So we actually picked Double Star. We had a lot of ideas going. Most of them astronomical and or Latin rooted, you know, plant stuff. Like we wanted something original. We didn't want someone to Google us and find something else. Soap. I don't know.
Yeah. So partial success. I mean, I feel like, you know, it's the whole idea of like making a uniquely spelled word and stuff that hadn't really occurred to me or hadn't caught on yet or anything. So, you know, always with a V or that kind of thing, like
we could have done that, but
we could have done that. I guess that would have been the cleverest thing to do.
We still could. We're not famous yet.
We're not famous yet. So
just a random brand change in the middle, just because.
We should be like
we shouldn't brand change, but we could spell double.
Double.
I wasn't gonna go that far.
Or we can go the South African route, like double, like DUBEELL or whatever.
That's the African way.
I think so. Yeah.
No, I think we would just need 2 A's together somewhere. Double Star, STAAR. Sure, like Afrikaans.
For sure.
I think we should do it.
We're announcing this here. From now on, we'll be known
We
as
are double star with
two B's,
wait,
one
wait,
A,
wait.
two
Oh my God,
L's,
wait, it's kind
two
of
A's.
no, that's going too far. But it's kind of brilliant because double star, the word double, and then two A's in star. I'm kind of loving it a lot.
I don't know about that.
Okay, we'll talk later.
Awesome. That's amazing. You're gonna
Hey, when we become famous as double star with two A's, you're like, they decided that on this show.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, for sure. We're gonna clip it right now.
And
Just so we have it. No, it's really
right
cool.
now, no one else in my band is going to go for it. I have a lot of ideas. They, despite being the successful songwriter of many, many really good songs, they still shoot my ideas down.
Yeah, makes sense. It happens, I guess, right?
Yeah.
So since we have the two primary writers for Double Star, with one A right now, maybe two A's in the future. We'll see how that one plays out. What kind of is the process right now when it comes to writing music?
GarageBand.
Yeah. Usually I do something in GarageBand. I send it to Haiti.
I say, can I have a different beat, please?
Yeah, I use the same beat over and over
He
again.
uses boom, chop, boom, chop, boom, chop, boom, boom, chop, just different tempos.
Pretty much, yeah.
And I can do it. I don't care. I mean, that's not the beat is going to end up with. But I literally once I was on a I think I was on my third song for that weekend, and I was like, couldn't take the beat anymore, and I said, can you just get rid of one of the kick notes?
Gotcha.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like I don't, I just want a beat that I can record to and everything, and then
It's just
let Matt sort of monotony of it. Yeah.
Gotcha.
I want something that I'm gonna be inspired by and feel
Yeah.
the song.
So yeah, we go back and forth over email. I mean, sometimes I give Haiti something that's like, here's a song, intro, verse, chorus, verse, bridge, outro, done, whatever, And everything just lays in the first time, and she puts all the parts in, and it's done. But like more often we kind of like go back and forth. I send her something that's like half finished, and she's like, well, what if we move this here and put that there? And then we kind of go back and forth on things.
And sometimes I don't understand what he thought, what was an intro and what was like the start of the song. So sometimes we mix things up that way. Or like there was once when I was like, and I think I knew that was supposed to be the chorus. I was like, I think I'm reversing these, and I just like turned them around, and I did the chorus was the verses and the verses was the chorus.
Gotcha.
Like that.
And that's just how the email's laid out, and not quite understanding what's going on, or those miscommunications.
I mean, he usually doesn't tell me. Sometimes he will. Usually he just sends me the music, and it is what it is.
Yeah.
I asked him once, like, are you ever like really surprised by something I send you? And he's like, always. I guess it's just like he has no idea what I'm gonna put to the riff in the song he sent me.
Nice. So Dave, you primarily build out like the riff and the tempo and stuff like that, and then Heidi, you kind of work on the lyrics and stuff.
Yeah, I do the melody and the lyrics on the song itself. Sometimes he'll have a musical bridge in there, and then I'll write a vocal bridge to it. Sometimes it stays a musical bridge, or I'll do a guitar part over it. I mean, like he said, some songs just work and are easy. Maybe we'll lengthen the ending. Maybe we'll lengthen the bridge. Sometimes we'll add a bridge after the fact.
Yeah.
But in general, there is a pop structure and it works. But there's a song called Small Town on our first EP. I felt like for a long time, and was that one of our first songs? It was just you and me. It's still one of our best. It's a good song still, though. Like, I mean, they're all good songs, but like some are great. And that one's like, it used to be great. Now we have so many other kind of greater songs that it's kind of like fallen down. But it's still one of my favorites. And it was like 3 songs. I felt like it was 3 songs in one. We worked on it a lot live. Like
Yeah, in the early days, before I knew how to use GarageBand, I think.
Oh yeah, that's right. I guess you didn't even use GarageBand.
Yeah, we used to just get together, and I'd be like, "Oh, I got a riff," and we'd just kind of like work stuff out in person. But then at some point, we started sending stuff over email, and
was it right around when the pandemic hit? Is that
it was pretty early. I learned to use
Okay.
GarageBand back in like I don't know, 2017 or something, I guess.
And sometimes it's still, if it's just too confusing or we're not getting each other, we'll get together in person and work it out.
Yeah.
Gotcha. That's cool.
Mostly we work right over email, and then we practice in person, with the full band.
And then
they get finished.
As far as the rest of the band, will they bring in different things to contribute to the songs, or is it pretty much you guys have it fully fleshed out, and then how does that kind of work?
Well, I mean, like Katie said, in most cases I have the same beat for every song. Some songs I have a specific beat in mind, and Matt has like learned or modified like some of the beats that I've written. And yeah, sometimes like if I hear a bass riff, I'll throw a little because I threw a lot of like little, we do a lot of like little breaks and little instrumental breaks in songs. So sometimes I'll write a little bass riff. Oftentimes, Bill will play that or something very similar. Yeah, so
I would say it's the latter. I mean, I would say mostly we give them a fully fleshed out song that if it's a melodic part, that's the part for the most part. If it's something that if he wrote a bass line that he really likes, and actually there's a song we're working on now. It's a new song. Dave wrote a bass part for the bridge where it's just a walk down on the bass, and Bill's doing something a little bit different. And like I said, we don't usually say anything. We want people to bring their creativity and their expression to the band, but I have not yet liked what he's done as much as what Dave did. So at some point, at some point, I might say, so listen to the thing that Dave did. It's just like a really straight walk down, and it's kind of just really simple and cool. And can you just do that? I might do that at some point. I'm not sure. I rarely tell Bill what to do. And then with Matt, again, it's just a standard boom chop garage band beat.
But like something like
but we have ideas.
I Want You. Yeah. I wrote that beat pretty much.
Like, I can't remember think of the beat.
I didn't write it actually. Like Garage Band wrote it.
Yeah, exactly. Garage
Band. That whole thing, like that whole, like that was like.
He's added a lot to it though. He does his open.
He
does an open. He's like he does an open hi hat that shuts really quick at the very end of the phrase. That's really great. That inspiration. I think he inspires the beat.
Yeah.
And then there's one song.
Sometimes.
Yeah, and then there's one song where I really wanted a. Who sings I'll Stop the World and Melt with You? Modern English. So there's that I'll stop the world and melt with you. So there's this part in the song. It's my favorite part of the whole song. It's up near the end, and it's just like this and it goes back into it. And I wanted that, and it's just like I think it's snare tom tom snare tom tom, and I was pretty insistent, and he did it a couple times, and then we practiced it again, and he kind of got away from it because he probably forgot I'd asked for it, and he was doing something different. And I was like, "Can you just do the?" I played him the song. I was like, "Just do this," and he kind of pushed back, and then I was like, "I really, really want it." And finally, Bill, who almost never talks, was like, "Matt, just do what she says." And because he just didn't, it didn't fit for him. And he's a lot younger. He's our youngest member. He's like 28 now,
something like that. Yeah.
So he's like, he joined the band when he was 25. So I think I was like, he just doesn't know the song. But this, and for me again, that part was reminiscent and nostalgic. It was the song from the 80s that that I remember from my childhood, and it was just really important to me. And I don't usually do that. I can't think of a single other time that I've done that. In fact, with like over 30 songs. But so once in a while where we do things like that. But for the most part, we will present a mostly complete song. People are very welcome to change their parts or come up with different parts or additions. And it's a key. There's a key they can play in. There's only so much they can do.
Yeah, I gotcha. That makes sense. And then where are you guys kind of at creatively right now? I mean, you mentioned that you're working on a song. Are you working towards another EP? Are you looking at singles or
on a song? Like they make fun of us, or some of them do, because it's just like some bands I've met and chatted with them about songwriting, and like they maybe write 2 songs a year. We can write 2 songs a month.
Yeah, we don't like. I mean, a lot of people take we'll gig and practice, and then we'll take a break and songwrite, and we never break. Like we just always write songs.
Yeah, and it's really fun. It's so fun for me. Like I love finishing. I love getting the riff, and I love like when working on it, and working it out. I'll just be down here working on the melody, working on playing the guitar part. I'll play it a bunch of times. The harmonies, it's a creative process. So it's really
For
fun.
sure. That's awesome. That's awesome. And then you had mentioned that you guys had a show Sunday.
Yeah.
How did, obviously with the snow and stuff that made life a little interesting, but how was the show?
We had fun, but there was no turnout.
Yeah.
Fair.
I didn't even send an email to the email list until that afternoon when it was confirmed, because the governor had told people to continue to stay off the road so they could keep clearing. So I actually was pretty sure. I thought it was a greater than 50% chance it was going to be canceled, and they weren't responding. Like, there's no one to call. They weren't responding to emails, and then
Yeah, there was kind of an ambiguous statement on Twitter where I was like, "We're closed today until further notice," and I was like, does that mean open tomorrow, or like? So we were just like, what's going on?
Yep.
Mhm.
So, but aside from that, the sound
Yeah.
system was great. The people there were great. The thing happened to me, which has happened to me before, usually after I play.
Yeah.
Right as we're figuring out, one of the horn mics wasn't working, although I think it was the cord. And then, so I said I can play out of a microphone. So he was setting up a microphone, and he totally mentioned to me, this is the sound guy, the one controlling everything, says to me, oh, I play trumpet too. Went to Juilliard. I was like, that's great. Oh my God. Like what you don't want to hear from your sound guy is that they play your instrument and better than you.
Well, just you assume they play better than you just because where they went to school.
Imagine, honestly.
Gotcha. And so how
for a trumpet.
how often are you do you usually play shows like right now?
Once every 6 to 8 weeks. Right now?
Yeah, right now. Yeah, I mean, we were like
winter sucks.
busy over the summer. Playing like.
Often, yeah. We had 4 gigs in 1 week over the summer.
Yeah, we weren't playing that many. We're playing like maybe like 3-4 gigs a month, but because of scheduling, we often ended up playing them all in the same week or something.
That happened once, but yeah.
Well, no, there was a couple times, I think.
Oh, it was?
Yeah.
Oh.
Gotcha.
It's all a blur.
Yeah.
So you definitely ramp up during the summer times from.
Yeah.
Well, and this summer was like pent up, like
Yeah.
need to go out and play and see music. Like
Yeah.
people, like all the outdoor festivals were like hopping, and it was so nice.
Nice.
Yeah, it was just kind of
We were
like
finally vaccinated. It was amazing.
we just kept signing up to things, and I kept expecting people to be like, "All right, cut it out," But nobody was, so we just kept doing it.
Nice.
Yes.
Hey, as long as everybody's willing to keep playing,
Yeah.
keep picking up the shows. So,
Yeah.
what's the furthest you traveled this past summer to play a show?
What was the one? Was it Lynn? Is that the
No.
Lowell?
Algonquin.
Oh, Algonquin. Yeah, we actually went to Maine a couple times. You're right.
Okay, gotcha. So you're.
Algonquin. I'm actually wearing a sweater I got there.
Oh, nice.
I
Nice.
love the sweater so much. I've got 2 sweaters from Algonquin. I have no idea why they've got the best sweaters in the world. Look, I got my stripes. I love this thing.
I'm wearing the T-shirt of the band who invited us there. Random Ideas. They're
Nice.
awesome.
Full circle. It's all about that.
They should come on your show.
Oh my God, Random Ideas are amazing.
I'll have to reach out to them. We're always looking for new and interesting bands to. And
They are literal triplets.
Yeah.
Okay.
Rock triplets, 3 women in a band, and they are amazing musicians and songwriters. It's crazy. And I saw them play when I was in Portland years ago, and I went up to them afterwards, and I was like, oh, you guys really enjoyed your music and your style, fit with us, want to come play with us sometime, and you can get us some gigs in Maine. And so that's how that happened. And they're super sweet kids too.
Yep.
Nice. And then you ended up coming back to Boston and playing with them.
Yeah, we've invited them to Boston a couple times. Yep.
Awesome. And then what's the schedule looking like so far as far for shows for the rest of the year? Are you still kind of sticking to the 6 to 8 week idea, at least until the summer hits?
I don't know that it's a conscious thing per se.
It's just kind of how it works out for the most part.
Yeah, we haven't been overly, aggressive in getting gigs. And then, I don't know. Dave does a lot of the gig getting, so maybe you should ask.
Yeah. Well, I feel like there was kind of a move to slow down for
I guess.
We want to learn
the
some new
winter.
songs. So.
Yeah, that too. Yeah, that's part
we have.
of it too.
I just counted them up. We have 12 unlearned songs. Like we've touched a few of them,
Hmm.
but in terms of ready to actually perform out, we've
Mhm.
got one in the hopper that we practiced tonight, and I'm willing to go for it, but not everybody is as what's the word?
Cavalier.
Yes, that's one word. I was thinking like I'm good under pressure. I'm good last minute. You can throw anything at me, and I'm just like, okay, let's go. Like
Let's go.
I almost prefer that. I think like I'm excited to perform, and I'm an extrovert, and like I, give me a little bit of adrenaline, and I'm good. And other people are like, we need to practice it and perfect it, and then we can go on. It's interesting.
When you bring a new song to the table to learn and prepare to play at a live show, how long does it usually take? Is it like a couple of practices, or does it kind of depend on the song?
Yeah, it totally depends. I
Yeah.
mean, some stuff comes together real quick, and sometimes it takes forever.
Mm.
Some stuff, yeah, a lot of it has to do with Matt will find a beat immediately that he likes, and that works really well. And it's just like we'll play a song for the first time, and we're like, oh my god, how did that go so well? And then there's another song where it's just like, why is this so hard? Like why can't we get it? Why do we suck?
Yeah.
Like it's just like so strangely difficult.
Yeah, we wrote. We have one song. I kind of like. I don't know. In the back of my mind,
New Orleans.
No. Well, that was another struggle too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes we were working on a song and we'll bring it to the band, and then we're just like, you know what? We're gonna rip this out. We got to change.
Oh, the band didn't like it.
Or just for whatever
It's
reason.
very rare.
A lot of times I don't like it. Where I'm just like, this isn't working. I need to change something.
What were you thinking of that wasn't?
I was going to
for us?
talk about 1,000 Reasons.
Oh, okay.
Because like 1,000 Reasons is a song that is cool. I can throw another song at you. Rosalita by Bruce Springsteen?
Such a good song.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
Rosalita,
I don't want
come
to say
sit by my fire.
I don't want to say I'm ripping that song off or whatever, but it was kind of like I wanted this song.
It doesn't sound anything like it.
Nothing at all. But like it just had all these different movements and everything. It had like, all these distinct feels and like
a song opera.
Yeah, and so that like took forever because it was just a matter of like one, like what exactly should those be? Like how low is low as far as the dynamics here? How high is high? Like how do we transition from this part into that part? So I mean, some of our more ambitious songs, I guess, can take a while. But then some stuff seems complicated to me, but then we take it to the band, and then it's just like
it just clicks.
Yeah.
It's I feel like it's fairly random. Like I'm still so shocked at like what took New Orleans so long. Like I loved this song. I wrote it and I was like, oh my god, this is so great.
Yeah.
And then we practiced it for months. And then Dave had he kept saying it's not ready. It sucks. It sucks, but like, something's not right. I'm like, what's not right? Well,
we majorly rewrote that song.
We majorly rewrote and rearranged it, but also, and I started out with a horn part because in all fairness, and I forgot about this, I was part of the beginning reason that it wasn't ready because I was so determined to have there be horns in it because the song was about and called New Orleans. So I was like, it has to have horns. And we've totally abandoned the horns, and I've just got this like kind of pretty screeching guitar solo that's really fun. But
yeah, we were trying to like shoehorn all this.
I had to let the horns go.
We were trying to like shoehorn this like second line, New Orleans kind of thing into like this heavy rock song.
Mm-hmm.
We played it Sunday night, and the one of the bands we were playing with was out in the audience, and we had a little running joke going from their set about singles, and so we were saying stuff about singles up on stage too, and then we were like, this is a single, and they're like, is it a B-side or a C-side? Like this kind of thing going on. And we played that song, and one of them yelled at us, now that's a single. Like,
yeah.
And because I had to keep reassuring Dave, I was like, this might not be your favorite song, but there's some people who are going to love it. And I love it, and
Well, I feel like I always want to work on something until I like it. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
that one, like the big thing with that, just out of guitar here, whatever. Like one of the big things with it was like, I think because like the original was like
it was a rhythm issue.
It was kind of like it was like this punk kind of thing. It was like not that exciting. And then I started playing it like just randomly one day, like. And like that, and then that just changed everything for me. And then like the song kind of like went from there, and like that kind of helped Matt solidify the drum part, and yeah, and it's like, it was like different feel, but like same principles, like lots of room for keyboards and bass and stuff and drums and like.
Yeah, so let's say that song took 6 months
At least.
to get out the door, at least, and other songs could take could take 2 practices. I mean, it's totally depends, and it seems totally random.
Yeah.
Or we'll have like we'll be like, this is gonna be so hard. And Dave will send me something that he's like, this is gonna be so easy to write to, and I think he stopped saying that because he said it a couple times, and those are always the ones, and I'm like, I can't figure it out. Like,
oh yeah.
I was like, nope, and then we have to change drastically.
I think it has to do with a musician or the band's ability to relate to the song. Like, if maybe it may technically be harder, but if they can relate to it and just it comes naturally to them, maybe there's something there. I'm not a musician, so I'm not going to pretend like I know what I'm talking about in that aspect. But to me, that just kind of makes sense if they're able to relate to the song and just, it comes naturally. I think that would really help the ability. So
Matt and Bill, who's on bass, have both at some point or another in the process been like, what are you going for? What's the feel?
Yeah, what am I trying to do here? Yeah.
Matt especially has been like, what's the feel? And sometimes we'll find a song. Dave is really good at this. He'll find a song that's the feel he's looking for. I probably try and use words to describe it, which is useless.
For sure. So I don't want to keep you all too much longer here. So as we kind of move forward, you've got the new EP out. Now it's on Spotify. Is it available in hard copy in any format, or where you kind of at in that?
What? Yeah, we've got some CDs. I would say you have to come to our shows and you can buy a CD, but if your podcast has listeners who are actually interested in a CD, they could just email us and mail it.
Yeah, we'll mail it out.
Totally.
Yeah.
Awesome.
We're also on Bandcamp. You can buy the album on Bandcamp.
Yeah.
You can listen on Spotify.
We're on all the platforms.
Yeah, we're on all the platforms.
Yeah.
That's the one thing, because usually I like going to buy CDs because it's just a hard copy medium, and I just recently had to buy a new car, and now I don't own a CD player anywhere.
Isn't that upsetting? That totally happened to me too. I have my car collection, and I miss it.
Yeah, I've got this, like, sitting back here. I've got like a bundle of CDs just given to me from various bands or like different things. Like I went to shows, bought them, or they sent me whatever, and now I can't listen to any of it because it's like my computer doesn't have a CD player, my car doesn't have a CD player, and
I have an old stereo, and that's the only way I can listen to CDs now.
Yep. And
I have that old stereo forever.
Yeah. So now when I go to shows, I look specifically for the vinyl. That's all.
I have a record player also. We've talked about doing vinyl. I think it's inevitable. We'll do something with vinyl at some point.
Yeah. But it's a commitment. Like, you have to be really ready to make that commitment to press vinyl. So
yeah, it's not cheap.
Yeah, for sure.
Wide reach of internet music.
Yeah, absolutely. But if anybody wants to check out your music, any upcoming shows or anything else you got going on, where's the best place for them to do that?
Upcoming show?
Yeah, upcoming show. February 15th, we're playing at O'Brien's in Boston.
In Brighton specifically, or Austin?
Yeah.
Austin.
Yeah. O'Brien's Irish Pub in Alston. And we're playing, it's an event that happens every year after Thanksgiving. After Valentine's Day. Cheap Chocolate Day. It's like, I think it's, I'm going from memory here. It's like the MIT Chocolate Lab or something. They make chocolate and they bring free chocolate to the show.
Nice.
It's like our third time doing it?
Second, right?
I'm pretty sure we've done it twice before.
Okay, maybe. But yeah, it's always a cool event. Our friend Austin Aroko,
who's also with a great Boston band called Fret Level Burgundy.
Yeah, he organized it, and we're gonna play with a great band called like a chiptune duo called Battle Mode Music, and in another band. I don't want to mangle their name, so I'll just say, just check it out. It'll be a good show.
Yep, you can go to our Facebook page. You can find us at Double Star Band, Insta, and what else are we? And we have a website. We're working on it.
Kind of, yeah.
Not supposed to be doing that. So if you look for us, you might find the website. It's up, but it's like just has our what's it called? The trees.
Use the Instagram, yeah.
Yeah.
If you go to Instagram, you can get we have the link tree. You can
Link tree. That's what it is.
Yeah.
And Spotify. Oh, we got a YouTube channel. We got a bunch of videos up on there.
I just posted a bunch of videos. I forgot. Oh yeah, actually go to our YouTube channel because I would love to get some more views on those videos because it's really sad to post a video and then 0 views.
Yeah.
It's only 2 weeks.
It happens. It's like we have a YouTube channel that we promote. Back when we first got started, we promoted it really heavy and we did really well. And then I stopped promoting it, and now it's just kind of like, oh, there's a video that's been there for, like, we've had a video that's been out for 5 years already, and it's still our consistently on a daily basis, it still gets the most views out of everything, and it's been out for 5 years. And it's just it's a cover, an old blues cover, and apparently people are just constantly searching for this song, and our video pops up, and it's like,
that's awesome.
Okay, cool.
I gotta figure that trick out.
Yeah.
Well, so I just put the videos up because that was my job, but my job is not the social media stuff. So somebody else has to now tell people to go check out the video. So we just haven't done that yet, and we will.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so we're gonna do an actual music video.
Yeah, these are just videos
hopefully.
of our shows.
Yeah, this is just videos from the shows. Yeah, this is great.
We should shout out to
Doug.
Doug.
Yeah, there's a great guy named Doug George who he shoots multiple shows a week and posts them all on his YouTube. And it's awesome,
He loves music. He just goes out and sees bands, films the whole thing, and then posts it for you. And then you can take it and put it.
Yeah, he shares the videos with you. Sends you everything on Dropbox,
good
whatever.
quality.
Nice. That's really cool.
Yeah.
It's good to have somebody in the scene that does it. So, and then you brought up the music video here real quick before we wrap this up. How far into that are you? Have you even started looking into the music video, or where are you kind of at in that process?
Met with somebody and we have a concept or ideas rather, but that's as far as we've gotten.
Gotcha.
Yeah. And but we're hoping, like, the idea with that is that once we have a music video, then we'll do like we'll do an advertising kind of thing where like on YouTube where like, oh, if you search for, I don't know, the Clash, right? Then like, like maybe you'll get our ad and be like, check out Double Star, and then maybe we'll get more people on our. That's the whole idea, get people watching the YouTube channel. Once we have like the video on there to kind of
pull them in.
For sure.
I mean, we're one
entertainment.
We're a band like many bands who are solid and talented, and if seen by the right person at the right time, could get some serious, attention. We're not better than that other band. It's just we're at the point where we're good enough. We just need the luck.
Yeah, you gotta make your own luck. You gotta get out there and whatever.
And promote yourself. Get yourself out there. That's the best way to do it. So, but once again, thank you so much for sitting down and chatting with me. It's been an absolute blast. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Make sure you go check out Double Star on Facebook and all their social medias at Double Star Band, right? Yep, I got that one. It's been an absolute blast once again. And thank you, everybody, for tuning in. And we will catch you all tomorrow.
Cool. Thanks a lot.
Awesome.